everybody, my name is Raze Chaos. You've made it back to my channel. And it is finally here. We are finally starting. I don't know how many videos this is going to take. I'll be honest with you. I am finally getting to the DC Cosmic cards that Mama J put in her AOK box. The little here you go, Raze. You can have some fun with these. Yeah, if you want to talk about, oh yeah, this is insane. There's 4 cards. The Mega Metal cards I did a little while ago. That's from that same pack. But I knew this was going to be a much bigger deal because heck, that was 40 minutes. That was 2 packs of cards, 12 apiece. This is 4 packs of 12 apiece, and this is DC, and this is the crap. And especially these, because these are 91, I believe. 91, was it? I think I've got my years right here. Where the heck is it? 91, 91, 91. 91, yes. Just like the cards, or just like the metal cards. These are 91. This was when Raze was in full force. With just, like, he could go on forever about pretty much any DC character at that time. And to top it all off, there was no such thing as the internet. He wasn't, I mean, it was there, but it wasn't what it is today. And you couldn't just check things out as you pleased. It was, yeah, Raze did some serious studying. He was in there. He was book studying. So yeah, he was really into this, and these are right here as when Raze was in when Raze was in the thick of collecting, and yeah, and just learning faster than learning more about comics at that point than he ever had before. So yeah, the idea that this could get a little bit long-winded is very, very possible. So not really sure how many videos this is going to take. I guess worst case scenario, there's going to be 4 videos of these, but I'd like to think that after the first pack, there's going to be a lot of duplicates of these, so that might shorten it down. So, at any rate, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to pop open this first one here, and we're going to see, we're going to see how this goes. This is probably going to be the longest of the videos, but, if they end up being too short, I'll just mash them together. I'm going to do all these at once, and we're going to see how it goes and see how... we'll see how I do. But first, we're going to put this guy away, and we're going to go ahead and bump into this. Don't worry, I'll bring you back between packs. Okay, we are going... I'm not sure how this is going to go. So we are going to pop this one out. See how long-winded Raze can get. These are so much fun, just being from the 90s. You could, on the back, the ads here, it's order the Out of This World Cosmic Cards Collector Album. And it also, yeah, it was a 3-ring binder you could order for $20. And it was, yes, to order, send a check or money order. How much fun is this? And, yeah, you can send it to send away for the collector's album. And also you could, they also had checklists. The second or third card of or the last card and the second to last card were generally checklists. Sometimes it's only one, but depending on how many cards there were, there could be multiple. Would be a checklist. That way you could see like what you had, what you didn't, and what you were missing. And you could actually order that one for free, but yeah, Raze didn't do that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead. We are tearing into these. We're gonna see how this. Oh God, the feel of that just brought back so much. That just brought back. I am gonna pull this off. Oh God, I'm drooling. Okay, I was drooling. Okay. Whew. So we've got Orion right off the bat. Orion. Orion is awesome. He is actually Darkseid's son, his estranged son, and yeah, he's been around. This is a full on when Jack Kirby got tired of all the work that he'd done at DC or at Marvel. He basically came over to basically he wanted to create his own like anthology lore mythology type storyline, and Marvel didn't want to do that because they had all these characters out there like Thor and Hercules and all these other things, so they didn't really want to create a whole new one that would be, you know, just unique to them. So he basically went to DC to do it, and yeah, Orion is the son of Darkseid, and that's why that's the whole. I mean, that's why he first appeared in. Did he? Yeah, I'm double checking myself because it's right here on the back of the card. Yeah, he first appeared in the New Gods #1 in 71. And yeah, oh, there's little trivia questions on the bottom of these. That's kind of fun. Trying not to make this too long, but yeah, this is Orion. This is awesome. This is card number 124 in a series of 180. I'll go ahead and read the back of here just to give you an idea. He's a real wild one. Orion, greatest warrior of New Genesis, whose incredible strength and stamina can vanquish an attacking soldier. When calm, Orion fights with a cool and efficient resolve while perched upon his astroglider, which is pretty much what he's on here. A sled that fires concussive blasts and shields Orion from the rigors of outer space. But when his feral rage takes control, only the quasi-sentient computer called the Mother Box can calm this savage son of Darkseid. And yeah, that is the case. Like, he goes into a full rage, and that has to calm down because although he was raised on New Genesis, he is Darkseid's son. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and put that there for that. That's really cool. This is good. Well, there are things I know about this series of cards, and we're going to be finding that out as we go. And this is a perfect example of this. This is a hero heritage card, and this is the Golden Age Blue Beetle. Yeah, I'm curious how they put that. Yeah, from Mystery Men #1 in 1939. See, what is really funny about this, this is Dan Garrett, but yeah, Mystery Men, August 1939. The thing is Mystery Men #1 was not a DC comic. little fun bit there. I'll go ahead and read the back here. Frustrated and hamstrung by corruption running rampant throughout his hometown, rookie policeman Dan Garrett chose to become a masked avenger and exact his own brand of vigilante vengeance. Clad in a special suit of bulletproof chainmail and granted super strength through periodic dosage of an experimental vitamin 2X, Garrett patrolled the crime-infested streets of the city as the Blue Beetle. That sounds very familiar, but not familiar enough to what people are expecting. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Okay. Yeah, this is one. I'm gonna put the heritage cards in a special spot here because yeah, we're gonna go through all of them. We'll have time when we get through the shorter card, the shorter bits. And next up we have Deadshot. Oh yeah. Deadshot. Batman number 59 in 1950. And yeah, the woo. The trivia question on here was what was the name of Deadshot's brother, which yeah, that immediately on Raze's head is like, yeah, because there's a whole mini series about that. But as the card says, once you're in his sights, you're as good as gone. He's Deadshot, the world's greatest marksman. Handguns are but primitive toys in his hands of this master assassin, whose weapons of preference are rapid-fire wrist-mounted magnums. Electronically linked to his laser-sighted hood scope, a walking arsenal, Deadshot's unerring aim makes him a key member of the Suicide Squad. And yes, he was definitely a big deal then. Yeah, this is so cool. I mean, I've had all these cards before, and that's what's fun is just looking at them and just loving the fact that yeah, it's kind of it's taken me aback a little bit, and it's really enjoyable. So yeah, we've got Floyd Lawton, Deadshot, another one of them that was just one of the people Raze was checking out. And next up we have Gangbuster. And Gangbuster was one of the other heroes that was operating in Metropolis. He was more akin to like say Daredevil or so as far as working street level crime in Metropolis. Which I'm sure is going to be mentioned on the back of the card. But yeah, I believe he first appeared in the I think he was pretty new when this first came out. These cards are 91. And pretty close, because he first appeared in Adventures of Superman number 87. So there's that. Let's see. Metropolis is a big city. Not even Superman can be everywhere at once. Fortunately, the residents of the Suicide Slum know they can count on the street warrior Gangbuster for protection. Armed with nunchucks, an electroshock taser device, and Kevlar-lined costume, Gangbuster is more than ready to tackle any 2-bit punk who dares cross his path. His name is Jose Delgado. He was Latino. The little question down here is kind of fun. It says, "Who else assumed the Gangbuster costume and identity?" And yeah, the answer is kind of fun because it was a whole storyline. Superman was actually had a small mental break at one point around this time, and he had basically envied the harder style of Gangbuster going on there, and so he actually donned the costume and was basically being what he wished he could do as Gangbuster. It was basically went into a split personality mode, I guess you'd say. Like he wasn't even consciously aware of it. But yeah, there was a whole storyline of that. And Gangbuster was right in the middle of it. So we're gonna go ahead and put that down here. And yeah, this is kind of fun too. It's the Great Battles saga, or the Great Battles cards, and I believe there's 3 of these. And this is the Great Darkness Saga. And I do believe this is card B. So, you got the Great Darkness Saga, which was part of Legion of the Superheroes, storyline, and I think I will go ahead and save the Great Darkness Saga, since this is like card A, card B, card C. I'll go ahead and save the back of the cards for if I get all three of them, or just kind of telling which one has. Of course, Raze has had that storyline, so it's it doesn't really matter all that much as far as who's got what. But yeah, Great Darkness Saga happening right there. And next up we have Hawk Woman. Not to be confused with Hawk Girl, even though they're pretty much the same character. Yeah, they've got this listed as the first appearance in the Hawk World Book 1. This is after Crisis, after the revamp of the Hawkman characters. Even though they continued to use the old Hawkman characters in continuity, they've made post-Crisis appearances, and but they hadn't been introduced yet. And yeah, it's part of the reason why Hawkman and Hawk Girl, like when Hawkman's world, when Hawkman's timeline is really messed up, and she's very, very closely tied to that, it just pretty much messes her timeline up too. She's Shearathal, and let's see, flying at fantastic speeds thanks to her anti-gravity belt and artificial wings. Shearathal soars through the streets of Chicago. At the side of her partner, Hawkman and Hawkwoman At the side of her partner Hawkman, Hawkwoman uses her warrior skills honed in the ghettos of her homeworld, Thanagar, to clean up the city. When it comes to the fight against evil, she swoops in to conquer. Yeah, she's basically a police person. Yeah, this was just... The trivia question is one of the... is who her friend is, and that is from the Hawk World series, Hawkman series at the time. I believe it was full on Hawk World at the time. There was a mini-series, then there was the Hawk World series. But yeah, the trivia question is just basically a question about her supporting cast. But yeah, that's a cool one. That was a period I really wasn't really checking out the Hawkman stuff that was going on at this point, because I didn't like it. I didn't like the look of the straight, like, I mean, there's no fun. It's just a gray police costume, and it's got that weird solid, like, glider wings on its back. I'm like, dude, that seems a little too not Hawkman, I guess you'd say. So, yeah, that wasn't one of my favorites. Next up, we have got Fire. We have got Beatriz da Costa. And, yeah, part of the Super Friends group of heroes that made their first appearance in the Super Friends series. But were basically generic. They didn't want to use actual characters, so they kind of made up their own little, haha, we're just going to pretend like this person is real, and yeah, eventually they became real. They eventually worked their way into regular continuity. Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to, yeah, here's one heroine who's hot even when she's not fighting crime. Brazilian-born Beatriz da Costa, the original party girl, who found herself able to turn into a powerful being of pure flame after being caught in an explosion of the experimental organic energy source called pyroplasm. Now, Fire is as much at home battling alongside the Justice League as she is in the modeling swimwear on the shores of Cancun. Yeah, the fun thing is, I actually remember, originally Fire was known as Green Fury. That was her name when in the in the Super Friends. When they brought her to, and she could spit fire, or she could breathe fire, and she would fly by, breathing fire down and sending her into the sky. And it was just kind of like, that is really kind of an awkward, like, how are you going to fly anyway where you're looking down the whole time? And then they basically adapted her into the Justice League International, where she arrived. And at that point, she had been part of the Global Guardians, which is where a lot of the characters that had first appeared in the Super Friends had ended up, because they were all like of a different nationality. Basically, but that point, like, Green Fury became Green Flame, and she could basically spit fire, or she basically could blow a fire that was like close to like a foot long out of her mouth, like just green flame out of her mouth. And it was just kind of like, okay, so why exactly is she there now? But then later in the series, she gets involved in this other, the other, I think the Gene Bomb from DC's Invasion crossover somehow activates her button a little bit more, or her metagene, whatever you want to call it, and essentially puts her into, basically makes her a green Human Torch. And yeah, I think in the first appearance that they actually happened in the Justice Society, somebody actually says, it's the human, and then somebody stops the other person. But yeah, otherwise it's like a Brazilian woman. It's like you combine Human Torch with a Brazilian woman, a Brazilian model, and you have Fire, who basically shortened her, instead of Green Flame, Green Fury, anything, is just Fire. So just very much entrenched in the Justice League International story arc that was going on there. And it was a lot of fun. Of course, her best friend was Ice, who was Ice Maiden at the beginning. And hopefully we'll get her pretty soon. And be able to talk about her. But yeah, she's a part of that. And yeah, it was really kind of fun, considering she was one that had an arc, went through that series. And she started with an awkward power, and then they basically gave her a useless power. And then it was just kind of like, okay, let's just make her the Human Torch. But she's green, and she is a literal flame, by the way. So, like, things can pass right through her as if she's a flame when she's in her flame form. So, they have to differentiate him more than just being green, otherwise Marvel's calling. But next up, we have Bolt, from the Earth's Mightiest Villains group. And he is one of the basic assassins. Assassins, mercenaries in the DC universe. There's a bunch of them where, they're just basically put on costumes, and they're just like hitmen. Only they're gonna dress up in costumes and make a big show of it. It makes very little sense to me, but that's what happened. But we got Deadshot from that same group, so you can't really say anything. His identity was never revealed. His first appearance was in Blue Devil, which I knew that, but I did not know it was the 6th issue, and it being in 1984. He's got these power gloves, and that's what he uses to shoot. So he doesn't actually have powers. He just has these electromagnetic bolts. And yeah, he'd appeared in Starman. I remember getting that, and like Starman was the first person to actually do that, because he didn't just shoot bolts. I believe he teleported as well. I'll go ahead and read the bag. It's Super Assassin for Hire. That's Bolt, a mystery man with a treasure trove of terrifying technology at his disposal. When Bolt takes a contract, nothing on Earth can save his target from the touch of his electrifying power gloves. which can reduce the strongest concrete and steel to mere powder. And since his super assassin has a power of instant teleportation, he does indeed strike like a bolt from the blue. Okay, so his power is teleportation, but he has these electric gloves. That's a little bit weird. So like Nightcrawler, only he's got like taser gloves. That's kind of funny. But yeah, he's kind of a and when I'm talking about Starman, I'm talking about Starman of Will Payton, the one that was in the 90s, who was he wasn't one of the guys with the cosmic rod. Yeah, just trying to keep these things from being too terribly long, but it's getting difficult. Yeah, next up we've got Cheetah, and this is another heritage. This is villain heritage, so this is the modern Cheetah, yeah, the reverberating echo of the jungle drums heralds of. The reverberating echo of jungle drums heralds the arrival of Cheetah, a remarkably fast and agile, super strong Catwoman whose razor-sharp claws long to rake the flesh of Wonder Woman. Even if the amazing Amazon escapes the feral fury of Cheetah's talons, she must still dodge her foe's long cat-like tail, which can crush the very life from her body with ease. I love the fact that they say, what is the question is, what possession of Wonder Woman does Cheetah covet? And it's the amazing Amazon's golden lasso. Well, of course, she's a cat. She wants the string. So yeah, this is Wonder Woman number 9, is this 1987, as they're saying here? It looks like 1987. So yeah, they're kind of showing, they call it the modern age, but yeah, they're showing a differentiate between the Silver Age and the modern age Cheetahs, which are very different. So I'm kind of hoping I get like several of these heritage cards so I can really kind of talk about the differences there. And this, so I got 3 more to go, and I've got Speedy here, Earth Mightiest Heroes Speedy, Roy Harper. This is Red Arrow, whichever one you want to talk about. Oh yeah, first More Fun Comics, November 1941. He is just that old. Roy Harper, he has been in, he's been Speedy, he's been Arsenal, he's been Red Arrow. I'm not even 100% positive, like what Roy Harper's current name is. I'd actually have to look that up, and that he's had a lot of them. But yeah, this is when he was still Speedy. Like at this point, he'd even guest starred in the Suicide Squad as Speedy. I believe he was working for a government organization at the time. This was after he had his whole heroin issue, and he was actually anti-heroin, going after cartel members. Roy Harper's history is something else. Yeah, or even here, it's like, what is the name of Speedy's infant daughter, which is Leanne? Yeah. Lion. I don't know how to pronounce it because it's Lian. Lion? Not sure. Just the fact that Cheshire's her mother is kind of like a, okay, I should probably know the difference but I don't. But yeah, waging his own one-man war on drugs due to Ace Archer Speedy patrols the streets of Los Angeles. His target, the creeps who prey on the children of L.A. by handing out the same kind of addictive poisons that Speedy himself once fell victim to. Now clean and sober, this amazing Aerosmith gives the city's drug lords the shaft. Yeah, this is very, very of the time. Because for the longest time, basically all Speedy was the recovering addict. Um, it took him a long time to actually. I mean, I'm sure in his whatever storyline that they use Roy Harper in, it's always referenced that he ended up being a heroin addict. But it was just kind of like a. At this point, nobody else knew what to do with him other than, hey, we've got to make reference to the fact that he's not on drugs anymore, even though we basically only referenced the fact that he was on drugs to do the storyline of him getting off drugs. So now we're never going to get off that storyline. So yeah, it was a bit of a pain in the butt, and quite frankly, him wearing the costume as an adult was like, yeah, can we have him evolve real quick? So yeah, of course they haven't really decided what they're going to do with him, but hopefully Red Arrow stuck, because that made the most sense in my opinion. And we're getting to the end. We're getting to Ares as far as the villains from Beyond. Obviously, don't really have to say much about Ares, because, I mean, he's the Greek god of war, and everybody knows that. And this version of him came out in '87, much like the modern Cheetah. Ares, the mad, marauding god of war, is an unparalleled master of combat with an evil gift for malevolent military strategy. Though he plays the armies of Earth like bands of toy soldiers under his command, his moment of greatest victory was snatched from his grasp by Wonder Woman, who narrowly prevented Ares from maneuvering American and Soviet forces into World War III. And that really does. It's 1987, so yeah, they're really showing the time era that it's coming out for sure. But yeah, this is one of those. I believe this is from George Perez's run, which George Perez was really into the Greek mythology of it, so he really brought in a lot of that. He really pushed the Wonder Woman storyline heavily into a more established Greek mythology, and kind of wanted to do a redesign on the Olympian gods wherever he could. So really appreciated that run from the 80s when that 1985 reign that he had put on there. So boom, I really appreciated that one. And next up we've got the Silver Age Superman, this is fun. I guess the first appearance here is listed, I'm assuming means the first appearance of the Silver Age Superman, which is apparently Superman number 76 from 1952. So I guess everything before this issue was the Golden Age Superman. Plummeting from the heavens in his alien starship, Baby Kal-El was found by farmers Jonathan and Martha Kent, who adopted him and encouraged him to use his superpowers as Superboy, the Smallville sensation. As the adult Superman, he moved to Metropolis, where he continued this tireless fight against the crimes with the help of his cousin Supergirl. Adored by countless millions, the Man of Tomorrow was known from Boston to Botsawa as the champion of freedom. And yeah, the trivia question is basically Crypto the Superdog. And yeah, it's honestly, I mean, we kind of know Superman front to back, and it's one of those things where we should just gotta go ahead and let it go. Because yeah, we know him. We know who he is. But I think as I get more of the heritage cards, which we've got 3 heritage cards so far. We've got one of the great battles, and then we've got like several of these guys, but we've got duplicates coming. We know we've got them. But I think that's going to go ahead and be it for this first one. But yeah, let me know what you think about these so far, because hopefully this is going to be the longest of the videos. Because like I said, I'm going to do these back to back. I mean, I'm actually going to take a break and come back to this, but I'm going to take a break, come back, and start over again, and start in on the next pack. But yeah, looking forward to getting into these, and I'll explain more as we go, because I really feel like this was the first pack. It was going to be solid. Everything was going to be different. So I figured I can get into some of the differences as I run into duplicates that will free up some time. But yeah, that's round one is down, and Raze will be back with another round very soon. Because even though he's filming all these at the same time, he's not releasing them all bunched together. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now, but never forget, the life is full of odd moments. And you never know when you're going to be defined.